There we go, we're ready to begin another adventure. We're going to go for a tour on the Arrow Lake, so just outside of Castlegar. We started off there and come along the road, go along the lake on the east side of the lake. And this is a place called Syringa, so it's right across from Renata, so it's got a pretty good boat launch here. Part of the deal when they flooded the reservoir, they had to build this boat launch to keep everyone happy, so not that many people using it, but it's a good facility. And it's just a really handy place to park and take off from. So as we're looking across the bay here, that is Renata. So we're right across from Renata. And we're going to head north and see how far we can get going up the lake. And we'll spend, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, however long, don't matter. Got lots of food, and we can stop in the Cusp and Edgewood, a few other spots. And should be a pretty awesome adventure. So there's my truck and my boat, nothing too fancy, an older truck. It's 2005, had it since it was new. And this boat was actually come from Shearwater Marine. It was one of their old boats. I really liked them, real tough ocean going boat. And we outfitted with a brand new 50 horse high thrust Yamaha 4-stroke. So, you know, reliable, quiet, easy on fuel, and all new controls and everything. So, yeah, so it's something you can take into the ocean or into the lake. It's kind of a heavy old girl, but she's pretty tough, so it'll take a lot of abuse, which, yeah, it's good for me. Yeah, so we're pretty familiar with this boat launch here. This is actually where I had to come and get my plane when I crashed. I crashed it on that beach over there when I was landing, and it flipped upside down, and we had to come and get it. So, kind of familiar with this location, pretty cool spot, and we'll just unhook the boat and park the truck up there somewhere, and we'll take off on this adventure. There's my cruise control. Ah, there we are. We're in this just beautiful little bay, so I don't know if there's any fish in here. I might try doing a little fishing, but yeah, just park in here. It's a nice thing about these little boats, so you can just get them in anywhere. I'm gonna have a look at this waterfall here. Well, not so much water here this time of year, but I imagine if you came here during runoff, it'd be pretty spectacular. Look off the face. I think this might be Johnson's Landing here, so we just tied the boat up to this boomstick here, and you're gonna see how good I am at log rolling. I'm gonna try to walk across there, but if I fall off the log, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to just jump up and hold the camera up in the air and keep it dry. We'll see how that goes, because the log does move around a fair bit. There we go. That should be pretty good. I got a good sense of balance, but just don't want to get the camera wet. I don't care if I fall in, but I thought, well, I'd move the boat closer up to the other end here and tie it on here, but if I fell down, I figured I could probably just hold the camera up and keep it up. There we go, big bubbles, no troubles. All right, well, let's just have a look around here and see if there's anything interesting to see here. I think that they logged all this area up here. You can see there's a bunch of blocks they logged, and this is just a place where they dumped the logs into the, well, this is a slide here. This is where they dump logs into the water. So that's what this was. They just put bundles, the logging trucks come in here, and then they put a bundle around the load, and then the loader just pushes them down the slide, and they go into the water, and they pick them up with the tug and take them to the mill at Castlegar. Shelter here is kind of cool. Good place to come if you get into some bad weather or something, get into the rain. A place to hide here. Like somebody's camped out here. Hasn't been used for a while, obviously. Kind of neat. There we go. Somebody's got a little nest here. Yeah, it looks like somebody was doing some prospecting. I haven't heard of any mines around here, but someone definitely blasted that out of there. Oh, there's just another little beautiful spot here. We're right in Edgewood here, right on the edge of this little creek here. Actually, the town is just right above us here. Beautiful little bay here. There's supposed to be good trout fishing in here. Yeah, there you go. This is the life here, eh? Just too bad I didn't have someone to share it with. But beautiful beach here. There's not a soul in sight. Well, there's a sailboat way out there. Nice sandy beach here. So we got a nice shady spot. So just tied up here for a while and watch the summer slip away. Alright, so this will be our camp for the first night. We're at the log dump yard at St. Leon's. So, yeah, let's kind of use the longer rope, just kind of pull the boat up as far as I could. And, yeah, we'll just make a kind of little dry camp here. Can't have a fire or nothing because there's fire restrictions on, so. Yeah, basically just put our rig and bed down, and we don't need a tent or nothing. It's not going to rain, so we'll just camp out here on the beach under the stars. And this is really cool. See that mountain up there? There's two little tits on it, and the one's called Mount Odin and the other one's called Mount Thor. And I flew up to the top of that in my parachute many years ago when Butch and Babes were still alive. It was really cool. It was in July. It was pretty cold up there. I always wanted to hike up to the top of there and haven't done it yet, but maybe one day. So here we are at the halfway river, so we're going to hike up to St. Leon's, the hot springs up here. There's also other hot springs called at the halfway river there, but you can drive right up to them. And I don't like them as much. They're not as spectacular as the St. Leon's ones. At St. Leon's, I've been going up there for, I don't know, probably about 30 years. There's a couple different ways to get to see it. St. Leon's, since we're just walking from the point is, that's where the log yard is, that's where the boat is, so we just chose to hike up here. You can actually take a logging road up here, which isn't as steep. This is pretty steep, but not too bad, you know. But you probably wouldn't want to go up here in the middle of the day. It was 35 degrees, but you know, this time in the morning it's a pretty nice hike. Yeah, once you get past the kind of steep part, it's a really nice hike in here. No problem at all. It's just beautiful. You go in here now. Apparently this is private property, but they haven't made any objections that I know of anyone being in here. And they logged most of the area off except the area around the hot springs. So, getting pretty close to this, to the hot springs here, and just beautiful trees up here. And you know, it really hats off to the people that come up here. I've been coming up here for 30 years, and I've never seen any garbage or anything. And the only sign that we've seen other than footprints, you know, there's some place where people camp, so there's little campfire rings here and there. Not one piece of garbage. There was a pair of socks that somebody left on a rock to dry and forgot, I guess. But, you know, hats off to the people that use this place and that respect it. You know, and, well, I've never really had much trouble with people. You know, they always hear horror stories about, you know, you can't have people on your property because of liability and they leave garbage in a mess and all this shit. You know, when we were up north, we put a sign on our place that said, "Hunters welcome," and we never had one problem. So it's unfortunate, you know, one little thing happens and people are all assholes and they should be all locked out and nobody can go anywhere, you know. So let's head up to the hot springs here. So there we are, we're at St. Leon's, and it's pretty much the same way as it's always been for the last 30 years. You know, heard rumors that the landowners came in here and wrecked it all, put some equipment in here and wrecked it all, but certainly wasn't the case. It's about the same as it's always been. I can always remember that change room, been here for 30 years or so. And this is just probably my favorite place in the back country that I visited on so many occasions, and I just love coming here. It's a bit of a walk to get in here, but that's not a problem at all. If it was any closer to the road, there'd just be more people here. So, yeah, nothing really any different than I remember it. Well, the pools and stuff and everything's still here. So there's a number of pools here. There's this is kind of the main one here. Actually, looks like they did a little bit of work in here because this is the hot water that comes in here. It's kind of insulated a little bit. This really hot pool here, so the hot water goes into the main pool. And the way it's too hot for you, there was a a cold line. You don't see it here. There was a cold line that went in there that you can sort of use to put a little bit more cold water in to cool it off a little bit. It's too hot for you. This actually changed a little bit. This little pool wasn't here before. Somebody put it in here. A little bit of a change, but other than that, pretty much the same as it always was. Yeah, that's another little pool up here, but it's really hot on the top here. Yeah. A small little pool up here, but really warm. You can't stay in there for very long. Can make it up here. I'll show you what it looks like up here. Climbing rope. Yeah, that's been there for 30 years. Now that I can remember being up here, it was just like that. Never changed. I think there was a little thing. This has been here for a long time too. They put a little candle or something in there, I think. It'll block the candle, I think. Yeah. Toothbrush in there. Graffiti on there. Exhaust your imagination by believing in society. Yeah, it's just a beautiful spot. My favorite place. So, all we gotta do now is take all the clothes off, and this is basically a nude optional, but there's no one here, it's pretty much mandatory nude. So there we are, welcome to St. Leon's. Pretty much ideal temperature. Used to be that it was really hot here and you put cold water in to kind of regulate it, but it's perfect now. Even got a chair. Oh, there's just an awesome shot of Odin and Thor. You can just see just how high that mountain actually is compared to everything else around here. So that's definitely a glacier there, because you know, here we are. It's first week of September, and there's still snow there from last year. So. There's Odin and Thor from this side here. We're going to head back up around this point here. I figured, what the hell, try doing a little fishing. Not much of a fisherman, just I don't have no weight or nothing on there. I just got a, I don't know, one of those red and white freaking spoons. So just an excuse to stop here and drink some beer, that's all. Trouble with a 50-horse motor is you can't really troll too slow with it, but oh, whatever. Who cares? Just it's just a treat being out here and enjoying the fresh air and the beautiful scenery. Who cares if a guy catches a fish or not? There's got to be good fish in here because them loons look pretty fat. There. Pretty neat looking formations in here. Look at them holes kind of pushed in there. Almost looks like somebody dug a cave and put a little plug there. I heard this freaking whining up there. I think, what the hell is that? And this guy got this little boat here. Sounds like a bunch of dogs whining, but it was a little speedboat he's got. Remote control. Alright, so yeah, so here's my deluxe camp here. We got a little spot here, and it's kind of funny because you think you're in the middle of nowhere, you know, and seeing anything for miles and miles, and it looks like it's all just, we're nowhere. You can see the ferry way back in the background, and there's a fire burning there. Got a kind of nice little bay here. That's my bed, and I see a little kind of a trail up there. Well, that's kind of weird. So I take a walk up there, and there's a provincial campground right there. Don't have any lizards here tonight. They tortured me horribly yesterday. You're just falling asleep, and that lizard tried to crawl into bed with you to warm up. Well, after being on the lake for 3 days, I'm out of ice, so my beer's starting to get warm. So I'm the kind of guy that kind of likes to think on his feet here. So I see this power plant here, and I think we're just above these big glaciers. So I figured, oh, that's going to be pretty cold. So I stopped here and filled my cooler full of ice cold water, and it should be good for another day or so. There you have it. This is a Pingston Creek hydroelectric project, and it features over 2,000 meters, 2 kilometers of tunnels right through the mountain, and it pops out here and generates power. Pingston Hydro facility. So this is one of those little, they call that a micro plant, I guess. A little substation. Huh. A little snowcat in here. Doesn't look like there's anyone here. That's what any guy needs, a health skidoo, eh? Trans Alta. Snowcat. Ski dozer. Gotta love that. Look like it's run for a little while there. The rats and stuff moved in. Warning, all activities are recorded to aid in prosecution of any crimes committed against this facility. Oh, I would say taking a few pictures ain't gonna hurt nothing, is it? There's the camera, see? There's all the information on it there. There, Pingston Hydroelectric Plant, Canadian Hydro. Oh, 1,800 meter tunnel. Raised shaft, lower tunnel, penstock soil. Huh. There you go, that's quite the project. This looks like a kind of interesting little river here, so we're going to try to sneak in here real slow, and hopefully we don't get in any trouble. Should just bounce us straight back. Well, this would be an awesome place to fish, you would think, eh? We'll try to catch some fish over there. They punched a little road in here to the top of the falls. You got a nice little view of the falls. This could be one of the nicest camping spots I've ever seen. And the little trail here just goes into here. And it's as far as it goes. But just a beautiful little spot to camp in here. So I'd like to come back here and camp here sometime. It's a beautiful spot. Yeah. Nice little bay here. Yeah, we found this beautiful little cabin here. Unfortunately, the rats got here just before we did. But it's not in bad shape, eh? Just gorgeous cabin. Well, you've been here for quite a while. And It's a publicly maintained kind of a site, so yeah, anyone can go in here and use it. And yeah, it's just a little bit of rat shit in here, but actually, nice little building. And yeah, awesome. Yeah, not much in here, but there's a big wood stove and a bunch of beds and stuff, so you know, good for someone camping here. A lot better than just sleeping on the beach. There's a broom here. Just have to sweep her out and chase the rats out. And got a nice little place here. There's no bedding or anything in here, but or anything else much. But gorgeous place. We never expected to see this by the falls, and just follow this little trail. A little trail up here. Then where this little trail goes, and there we are at this cabin. So it looks like the government spent a little bit of money here. Really nice to see. Fixed it up a little bit. Looks like it's been here for a long time, obviously. And recently someone put a bit of a foundation under it and did a little work on the roof. So awesome. Check this out. I didn't know if this houseboat got grounded here or what happened to it. That's got to be the most interesting cabin I've ever seen. Alright, so we've reached the place called Sunshine Bay. So this is another forestry thing here. So now it looks like it's actually possible to get to Sunshine Bay with pickup. There's a road access into here. So you can actually drive up here if you like. Nice spot. I haven't seen a person on the lake all day. Beautiful and calm. Yeah, a little smoky, but it's all part of Mother Nature. What an awesome place this is. I learned kind of a cool redneck trick I'm going to show you here. How to pull a boat up without a winch or anything. You know, you want to maybe pull it up out of the water a little bit because you don't want to bang it on stuff, eh? So what you do is just kind of pull it as tight as you can like that. Show you here. So you got this line pretty tight there, and without a winch or anything like that, if you got, you know, say 50 or 100 feet or something, you can do it actually. You can really pull, put a huge amount of force on this thing, just pull it this way. You can really pull that sucker up there. I think you probably got, you know, with a couple 100 pounds force this way, you probably got 1,000 pounds pull. So that big old heavy boat just sucks you right up and should be safe for the night.